Hello students, welcome to our philosophy damp. Now, as the question goes, do you agree with the view that Vivartavada is logical development, is the logical development of Parinamavada? Okay, give reasons. Now, this was 2022 10. This was one of the interesting questions, in the sense, a little challenging, but it is interesting also. Okay. Now, introduction, conclusion, and according to this thing, subheading. Now, subheading first is obviously Vivartavada as logical development of Parinamavada. Okay, so there are some arguments which proves that it is logical development. How? See, according to Sankhya, Parinamavada is Sankhya. Now here, you talk about basic of Parinamavada, as Sankhya given Parinamavada is complete real transformation and all that, and Vivartavada is the world is not real transformation. This is given by Shankaracharya, right? Okay, you can also talk about both are attempts to explain the world. That's all. Both are attempts to explain the phenomenal world. Both are the consequences of explaining the phenomenal world. Now, first point in this. Okay, this will be logical development, and then second, which is a little critical point, that is Vivartavada and Parinamavada are opposite. But there won't be much points here. Here there has to be points. There are points, as you might already know. Okay, number one, first point, according to Sankhya, Parinamavada explains evolution of Prakriti. And this evolution is a result of contact between Prakriti and Purusha. Okay, so Parinamavada is evolution of Prakriti, and evolution of Prakriti is nothing but bondage for Purusha. Okay, as you already know this. So evolution brings Purusha into bondage due to ignorance of its own real nature. So due to ignorance. Second, but this is the whole Parinamavada process. Then, however, this raises objection. So basically the bondage of Purusha. Bondage of Purusha is because of ignorance. Bondage of Purusha is because of ignorance. Means evolution is also a result of ignorance. Okay, evolution is also a result of ignorance. And a result of ignorance can only be illusion. Okay, result of ignorance can only be illusion. Yes, because result of ignorance can only be illusion. Avidya, ignorance can only give you illusion. It cannot give you knowledge, right? The product of ignorance can never be reality, but illusion. Third point, if according to Sankhya, okay, upon Vivek Jnana, according to Sankhya itself, upon Vivek Jnana, Purusha liberates itself and Prakriti goes through the dissolution to its original nature. So Purusha liberates and Prakriti goes back to dissolution. Okay, so upon Vivek Jnana, Purusha liberates itself and Prakriti goes back to dissolution. to its original form. Means dissolution, that means the dissolution, if not a real thing, but an appearance. So evolution, so evolution is not a real thing, but an illusion. Because the moment Purusha liberates itself, that means what happens? If Purusha liberates itself, the evolution gets dissolved, and once it is dissolved, it goes back. That means evolution itself was appearance. Okay. When Purusha liberates, evolution goes back. So evolution, that means evolution was appearance. Okay. Next point, that even according to Sankhya, Purusha never really gets bound and never liberates. Okay. There is a statement, one of the statements by Sankhya is Purusha never gets bound, never liberates. It remains, okay, in its original form. If you remember, this was one of the questions we have discussed before. So that clearly proves that evolution of Prakriti, that is bondage of Purusha, was an appearance, was not real but appearance. Okay, and this shows that the inconsistencies. Okay, there is one more argument, that the evolution, according to Sankhya itself, evolution is a result of contact between Prakriti and Purush. Whereas Sankhya themselves say there is no real contact. That means creation is not real. So creation is Vivarth. So it proves that ultimately it has to lead to, even if you start with Parinamavada, it has to lead to Vivartavada only, for sake of avoiding the inconsistencies that it might hold. Okay. But then there are others, this thing also, not very strong arguments, but still. Some believe that both are absolutely opposite. Both are absolutely opposite. That is, one thinks it is real, world is real, and world is unreal or not real. So this is one clear way that they are 180-degree opposite to each other. Parinamavada offers a more intuitive explanation of cause and effect, because it does not dismiss the reality of the world, unlike Vivartavada, which considers the world as illusory. So Parinamavada is more relatable pragmatically. Okay, it is more relatable pragmatically, right? But ultimately, if you see logically, you can say Parinamavada explains the plurality of the world, which Vivartavada denounces, which goes against our practical experience. But it's just that Parinamavada is accepted more without its, this part is trying to say that Parinamavada is more acceptable and relatable pragmatically. Here we already proved that if you start with Parinamavada, we have to end with logically culminate into Vivartavada. That's what we have to write here. So it can be concluded that indeed Parinamavada, although Parinamavada seems to be more practical and practically relatable, although Parinamavada is practically relatable, but if one starts with Parinamavada as the basis, it has to logically culminate into Vivartavada to so that to make Satkaryavad consistent. Okay, so that to make Satkaryavad consistent. So in order to make Satkaryavad consistent, one has to flow like this. So Vivartavada, that's why Vivartavada can be viewed as logical refinement of Parinamavada due to its focus on non-duality and simplicity of explanation. So non-duality and simplicity of explanation. So refinement of Parinamavada. Vivartavada is refinement of Parinamavada as a conclusion. Next. What arguments given by Shankara for the existence of Brahma? What arguments are given by Shankara to prove existence of Brahma? And are they satisfactory? Obviously, 10 marker. Right? Now, as you know, you can talk about Shankara and the metaphysics Shankara. Brahm is the ultimate reality, or you can write Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya Jiva Brahma Vanapara. According to Shankaracharya, Brahma is ultimate reality. And to establish this reality, Shankara gives several arguments. Then, arguments for existence of Brahma. So, in introduction, what did you do? Shankaracharya's metaphysics, Brahma is the central thing, Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. Okay, Jiva Brahma Vanapara, wherein Shankaracharya says Brahma is the ultimate reality, even Jiva is nothing but Brahma. For the proof of this thing, Shankaracharya gives several proofs or arguments. What are the arguments? Okay, number one, you as well know, Shruti argument from Shruti. That is, Vedas are apaurushe. So, not authored by humans, are the most reliable. So, Vedas are this thing, and Vedas say that Brahma exists. So, Brahma is there. Second, the causation argument or world cause argument. Okay, that is the world which is transient and ever changing. So, world changing. World is an effect, must have cause, which is unchanging, permanent, and all that. That is Brahm. You know these arguments. Then, third is Brahm is Swayam Prakasha. That is self-existence. Self-existence of consciousness. Brahm is self-existent and does not depend upon anything else for its existence or perception. So, Brahm is there. It is the substratum of cognition. Brahm is substratum of cognition and experience or knowledge, whatever you want to call it. Substratum of cognition and experience. So, Brahm exists. Then, he gives etymological argument. What is etymological? The word Brahm means Brah plus Aham, means universal consciousness. So the word itself shows that Brahm is a universal consciousness which exists. And universal consciousness cannot be but exist. You cannot say universal consciousness does not exist. Then it is not universal consciousness. So you cannot say that. And obviously liberation argument that people have actually realized Brahm. They have already realized Brahm. Okay. Now are they satisfactory? So you can write like this. There is a unique way of writing it. Strength or satisfactory and criticism. Very briefly, you can write 3-4 points here. Okay. Are they? The subheading is, are they satisfactory? Okay. So first of all, Shankaracharya, are they satisfactory? Yes, combines scriptural authority, reasoning, and experiential knowledge. So first is, it's a combination of arguments are combination of scriptural, experiential, epistemological, and practical. All put together gives Brahm. Then logically also, because effect needs to have cause. So its argument is logically also satisfactory, that if there is some effect, means there has to be some cause. Then with the help of non-duality, okay, the metaphysics is made simple. Okay, metaphysics is made simple. So it is again metaphysics or philosophically appealing. Okay, because there is only one Brahm. And again, intuitively convincing. This argument of Brahm is intuitively very convincing. Logical because absolute, if everything is changing means there has to be some absolute. Now critique is obviously heterodox, deny the authority of Vedas. Okay, something only because it is written in Vedas, it is not true. So they deny that. Then concept of Maya is very mysterious and not explained properly by Shankar, which is the basis of their whole thing. Then world as Vivarth is also not practically acceptable. World as Vivarth is not practically acceptable. And realization argument, that is this argument, Brahm realization, liberation, is only a subjective truth. That means those who have actually realized will only feel it, others don't know. So cannot be believed by all. Okay, so conclusion is, now what would be the conclusion? Obviously, Shankara's arguments are satisfactory or not. It depends upon the epistemological framework one adopts, or basically whether one agrees to the overall metaphysical setup that Shankaracharya comes with. Okay, for those who accept scriptural authority and intuitive knowledge, Brahm is valid, or these arguments are valid. And those who do not, like heterodox schools, the justification, they need more justification, or they do not find it satisfactory. So answer should be like, it is satisfactory for those who agree to the intuitive and scriptural authority and intuitive knowledge. These two are important words, scriptural authority and intuitive knowledge. Then they are satisfactory, because although they are arguments, they are about some spiritual thing, and spiritual arguments are generally very difficult to explain each and every part logically. So somewhere there has to be aspect of faith and belief. Okay. Next, compare and contrast. Compare and contrast the views of Shankara and Ramanuja about regarding the status of the world. Regarding the status of the world. This is 2021 and it's a 15 marker. Okay. So obviously you have 3 pages to write. Introduction. Now, in introduction, you talk about Shankara, Ramanuja. Okay, like Shankara's broad thoughts, Ramanuja's broad. Shankara and Ramanuja, both obviously Vedantic philosophers, differ significantly in their perspective with the status of the world due to respective philosophical framework. Shankaracharya, through its Advaita, non-dualism, talks about or establishes the world to be unreal or mithya, whereas Vishishta Advaita, that is qualified dualism of Ramanuja, sees world as real and as the integral part or dependent on Brahma. Okay, so one is saying that world is unreal, second is saying world is real but dependent. This much is enough. Now, there are different ways to write this. Okay, what I have chosen this at this particular place is, you have this table. This will be a good idea. Okay, status of the world, criteria, Shankar, Ramanuj. Okay, first, for example, ontological status. I mean, with respect to existence. So, Shankara, the world is mithya. Okay, and is nothing but Brahma. You already know this. Here, world is Satya, and it is dependent on Brahma. It is integral part of Brahma. World appears to be, your first point. Second point, world appears to be, or world is an appearance due to Maya. Okay, or illusion. Here, world is real and is because of creative power of God, that is Maya. So Maya is a creative power. Here Maya is an illusion. So world is appearing like that. Second aspect is cause-effect relationship to explain the world, in explanation of the world. One is obviously you talk about Brahm Vivartavada and here Brahm Parinamavada. You know the arguments here. Brahm is a Vivart. World is a Jagat is a Vivart. It is a projection, Adhyas. Here is a real transformation, real creation, all that. Okay, that is second argument. Third, relation with Brahma. Whose world's relation with Brahma? This is third. What does Shankara say? World is projection. Okay, so both agree that it is cause and effect, but world is projection of Brahma. Okay, projection of Brahma, and hence it is conditional relative. World is conditional and relative, and only true at empirical level and not transcendental level. Okay, here world is not projection. World is not projection. Okay, world is not projection. It is intrinsically connected. Intrinsically connected with Brahma. Okay, or inseparable part. Prataka Siddhi, you can just mention. Inseparable part of Brahma. Okay, inseparable part of Brahma. So, here one more point. Existence of world contradicts Brahma. Here, second, existence of world does not contradict Brahma. Right? Other point for their comparison is practical implications. Or you can write implications. Implications, that is, so world has no ultimate value. Here, world is valuable and meaningful. Valuable and meaningful. This leads to Nirguna. Nirguna Brahma. This leads to Saguna Brahma. implications. This leads to bhakti. Jnana yoga. This leads to bhakti. Like that in the liberation. Or jnana leads to liberation. Bhakti leads to liberation. Okay. So this is the kind of what we can write. Shankar and Ramanuja on world, status of world. Shankar and Ramanuja on status of world. And then you conclude, because now already you have compared, contrast everything. If you write some criticism, you can write 1 or 2 points. Charvak rejects Brahm. Shankara, Buddhism rejects any permanent entity, like that. So both this thing. Just a criticism of the Brahm or basic idea of them. Just additional point. So what would be the conclusion? Shankara's obviously Advaita Vedanta. So basically here Shankara is prioritize transcendence and Ramanuja prioritize eminence. Okay. So Shankara's Advaita Vedanta prioritizes the transcendence of the world, viewing it as an illusion to be overcome in the pursuit of liberation. Whereas Ramanuja's Vishishta Advaita integrates the world into divine framework, emphasizing its reality and bringing its value, bringing its role in liberation. Just a additional point you can mention. So you can also write in a different way, like although both agrees Brahm to be the ultimate reality, their respective frameworks have a opposite explanation, okay, or contrary explanation of with respect to the existence of Jagat. Next question. What is the role of the concept of adhyasa? What is the role of concept of adhyasa in the metaphysics of Shankara? Question mark, 10 mark. Now this is only 10 mark and we have a lot of points to be written. So straight away you can obviously introduction, conclusion. Now here you have two choices. Obviously you know what we have to write is role of adhyasa and obviously its criticism and conclusion. So you can write briefly if you want adhyasa here. But I think considering our word limit, better you write about adhyasa, Shankara and his metaphysics here. Straight away come to role of adhyasa. And then criticism and conclusion. So adhyasa according to Shankara is the superimposition of unreal on the real. So adhyasa, okay, in the metaphysics of Shankara, okay, in the metaphysics of Shankaracharya, adhyasa plays an important role. Adhyasa is a superimposition. It's the most important word. Superimposition of unreal on real. Okay. It is a two-step process. Two-step. That is avarana and vikshepa. Okay. This is a two-step process. Dash avarana and vikshepa. Adhyasa conceals. Adhyasa conceals and conceals what it is and projects what it is not. Okay. Conceals what it is and projects what it is not. You can mention, for example, snake and rope. Snake is projection. This rope is reality. but just snake and rope is enough. Now, role of Adhyasa in Shankara's metaphysics. Number one, you can write Shankara's metaphysics is Brahma Vivartavad. Okay, wherein Jagat is considered to be projection and Brahm to be reality. Okay. So to explain this, Shankara needs Adhyasa. Okay, simple. Brahma Vivartavad. So obviously for explaining Brahma Vivartavad, which is the metaphysical bedrock of Shankara, this is explained. Now, Shankara uses Adhyasa to explain plurality of empirical world, whereas Brahm is the ultimate reality. So basically, Brahm being ultimate and world still is there, so that concept can be reconciled through explanation of Adhyasa, Vyavaharika Satya. So the relationship between Vyavaharika Satya and Paramatika Satya can be connected through Adhyasa alone. Okay. So question is, if Paramatika Satya says that Brahm is the only truth and world is not, so how? Because of Adhyasa. Okay. So this concept of mithya, okay, the truth, third point, truth of world as mithya rests upon Adhyasa. Simple. So concept of Adhyasa is very important. Now in this question also, if you can mention here Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya, if you have space, this also works. Here also you can mention, as the shloka goes, Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. So to establish the mithyaness of the world, or establishing world as mithya, the concept of Adhyasa, or its rests on the base, this thing of Adhyasa. Then to explain apparent duality, whereas Brahm is the only reality, Shankaracharya uses Adhyasa. So to explain duality, the Adhyasa is used. That is, in real, there is no plurality or duality. It is only oneness. But because of Adhyasa, it seems to be. Okay. Third, Adhyasa also helps to establish, Adhyasa also helps to establish that avidya plays a role. So basically, it's like this. Adhyasa is the process or effect because of the avidya. So what avidya is there? Maya is there. But what does Maya do? Adhyasa. So Adhyasa is required to explain what exactly avidya does. Okay. And last point, if you want to add, Adhyasa, okay, makes liberation possible. Why? Because of their Avaran and Vikshep, automatically the liberation can say that it is possible to reach, or we have to reach the reality and not get illusioned by Vikshep, Avaran and Vikshep. Right? Critical points. Obviously, number one point is cannot be empirically varied. You know what Ramanuja says? It is not illusion, but real creation. So obviously no need of Adhyasa at all. And second is relation between Maya and Adhyasa. Seems circular. Means one needs for the explanation of others. Explanation of other. Like because of Maya, Adhyasa is happening. Because Adhyasa is there, Maya is there. Maya is like, how did Maya, you reach Maya? Knowledge of Maya, Arthapatti, as you know. So, because there are two facts, how would you reconcile? Brahm is pure monism. Then world, Jagat is there, plurality. So, how to reconcile Maya? But the point is, this world being Vivarth or Adhyasa is the reason you reached Maya. And because you are saying because Maya is there, Adhyasa is happening. So argument becomes circular. The relationship between Adhyasa and Maya or Avidya is often circular. Ignorance causes Adhyasa and Adhyasa sustains ignorance. Ignorance or Maya causes Adhyasa and Adhyasa sustains Maya. So this is a contradiction. Take conclusion. So Adhyasa really plays a central role, most important, cardinal role in the metaphysics of Shankara. Okay, without Adhyasa, the non-dualism or Advaita could not have been achieved in the philosophy of Shankara. Without Adhyasa, it was very difficult for Shankara to achieve what? The Advaita, that it is generally appreciated for. But Adhyasa still remains, although Adhyasa, you can say, in spite of the criticism and allegations against Adhyasa, Adhyasa plays a very central role in the metaphysics of Shankara. Without this Adhyasa, the monism of Shankara could not have been achieved. Okay. So thank you very much. Hope to see you in next questions.